Hello, my name is Faith Mochagi, and this is my platform, Conundrums. Now, it's been a while since I've been on this platform, but life has been happening, and let me say, at a faster rate than our minds and our hearts are trying to process or can process. So, why I'm even back is because I've realized, okay, so life is happening. Our children are growing. We are growing older, and I don't know why. As we grow older, they're not getting younger. As they grow older, we're not getting younger. There should be some balance, but life is not fair, is it? So, in the interactions that I've had, both professionally and at a personal level, I am realizing that we may be clouding our judgment, clouding our journey as a parent, as a guardian, with what is going on around us. There's one of the programs that I watched, or the clips that I come across. I like this phrase of, can someone just stop the world for a minute and I disembark, or I get off. Shukisha dunia, simamisha dunia nishuke, that kind of scenario. Now, my question is to you as a parent, to you as a guardian, have you ever given yourself an appraisal? Do you know what you're doing well? Do you know what you're doing, what you need help in? I'm not saying life is brutal, life is not fair. But I'm realizing that even as we are navigating this parenting journey, whether it's children of our own or those in our custody, those in our care and our care, we are wearing lenses of trauma. We are carrying burdens of confusion. We are discombobulated. We ourselves are navigating so much that is happening so fast, and at the same time we are not getting the space to just pause and reflect and see, okay, so how much damage, or what, like, how have I survived these hits? And I know there's the aspect of the game, the football game, where there was 7-0. It's like life is just giving you punches left, right, and center. So for me, my question is, what do you know you're doing well as a parent, as a guardian? Like, if you're to stand at the top of the mountain, at the top of the building, but in metaphorical statements, and say that, by the way, if I was to give myself a report card, this is what I am doing well. Because every time we are watching the news, or articles are showing up, or we are interacting with communication left, right, and center, we are looking at, oh, the world is bad, the world is bad, the world is bad. Parents should, guardians, where were they, and all those things. But hardly do we applaud parents for what they have done. And usually when we applaud the parents, it's when there's an academic aspect of it. So even with my past video, of which I believe was quite some time back, was last year, I was looking at, okay, so what have I observed? And what I have observed so far is, we are not energizing. We, as parents, we are not being applauded, unless, most of the times, it's always academic. But if you look at your child, or you look at your children, are there things that you have navigated through and it has clicked, it has worked, you have come to a consensus, you have come to an agreement, or you have established the non-negotiables in your family, and something has clicked, children are falling into, like, the family aspect is falling into place? What has worked? Just sit back when you have time. I believe there's an upcoming holiday. If you are having a holiday, if you are having a moment of reflection, what are you doing right? Applaud yourself. You don't wait for the world to applaud you, and look more on the non-academic aspect. Because now that brings me to the other point of, even as you applaud yourself, I'm hoping you can look for non-academic achievements. Because in the cases that I'm handling, whether it is the adolescents or the older generation, the adults, I'm realizing that we are always saying that, hey, that person is book smart. Like, matters of studies, everything is plus. But what I'm realizing is, and this is my own life plus what I'm observing, is we may be focusing so much on being book smart, but life requires children to be street smart. I'm not saying knowing about how to cook or whatever the case is, I'm saying, how can they survive without having to be to what to the word is disappearing, without having to rely on the academic prowess, because they are becoming number one. They have gone to the best of schools, great, they are getting the grades, nice. But right now, if they are, even you as an adult, how many times are you using your academic achievements to get through life, to manage your finances, to deal with heartbreak, to deal with rejection when somebody says no, to find out that by the way people you thought were your friends are not your friends, they are more of acquaintances, and you should not have gone that, like, their boundaries. How do you deal with certain aspects of, oh yeah, by the way I'm aging? How do you deal with booking appointments? So I'm looking at, even as you're applauding yourself with what is working, you're like, okay, so if my child was to survive without me and without relying on academics, what would they need and how do I empower them? Because parenting is nurturing a life, nurturing a child to live independent of you. Yes, they may come home when they're 30, visiting and the rest, good, but they need to be independent of you, and it should not just be academics. And now, even as I conclude, because today it was just short and brief, we'll talk more as we get back on track. My third, so the first part is applaud yourself, be your greatest cheerleader. Number two, be on the lookout for non-academic life skills that you need to impart on your children. And then the last point is acknowledge what you know, acknowledge what you know about your child, about parenting, acknowledge what you don't know about parenting and about your child, and then also acknowledge, where do I need help? The children don't come with their, what do you call it, like a map of their like instructions. We get the instructions as we go. Parenting is the same, and the way you parented your first child is not the same you parent your second, your third, your fifth, your 10th, whatever the case may be. It may not be the same if how you parent a stepchild or being a co-parent. So by the time you are looking at all this, always remind yourself, okay, so what do I know for sure about myself, about my child, my children? What don't I know and would be important for me to know? Is it okay for me to find out, or is there now point there? The last part is acknowledge where you need help. You do not know how to talk about reproductive health. You even in mama boys, you have no idea what to do with boys when come, aside from ensuring they go to the rites of passage. It is, okay, my child is just, I'm getting more gray hairs than, where do I need help, and who can be a safe space for my child to get help, who can be a safe space for me as a parent, as a guardian, to get help. Because if there's one thing I am saying left, right and center, north, south, east, west, you cannot do this life alone. And even though you're having the gated community, or you're having your self isolation, or your small cocoon for your child, every one of us has to interact with the world. And the way the world is going, it is spinning. And that's why we are saying, just, can you pause? Things are moving too fast. So what do you know for sure? What don't you know? And where do you need help? So, as always, consider subscribing to this channel. I believe we will be having more conversations, because yes, we are back on track. I think for me, I had stopped my world a little bit, my digital world for a little bit, so that I can revamp a little bit and be here for you as I create a community for parents and guardians, because indeed we can't do this thing called life alone. Okay, so I'll see you on my next video, and thank you so much for the support, the feedback, and everything else, because it's making me a better person. Okay, so see you soon, and bye bye.